All right, yeah, I'm gonna get right into it because I should have done this video like 2-3 days ago, but I don't really have any excuses, man. Like I kept letting time just escape me, but so the Ravens a few days ago lost to the Cleveland Browns 24-22. It was a really tough game to watch for obvious reasons, but it also was kind of an interesting game to watch towards the end. But the biggest thing, obviously, to take away is Lamar. He got hurt. He got allegedly it's like just a slight ankle sprain. They're saying that it's not a high ankle sprain. I don't know if they're telling the truth. They're liars. John Harbaugh is known to lie. I don't know if you can trust that, but I mean, all that does is further solidify the point that I've been making and people like me have been making all season. This O-line is terrible. This O-line is terrible. This O-line is so bad that they struggle to protect one of the most elusive quarterbacks to ever live. One of the hardest people in the NFL to catch right now. They struggle to protect him. Like, how? Like, you are so incompetent. You are such a liability. You can't even protect Houdini. You literally have Houdini at quarterback, and we're watching him get abused. This is ridiculous. The best decision Lamar has made so far was not rushing to sign anything. There's no need to rush to re-sign that contract. I'm gonna get back to that in a second, but some other things that caught my attention, of course, was Mark Andrews had a big game. Well, Lamar ended up having to leave early because of that ankle issue, and so Tyler Huntley came in. And I'm gonna get to that in a second too. But Mark Andrews, he had a big game. I think he had like 115 something yards. Rashad Bateman had a breakout game. He was targeted 8 times, and he caught 7 of them for 103 yards. One of them was almost a touchdown, but it was called back. I understand why it was called back, because at least when I looked at the replay, his knee was down. I don't know what some other people are looking at. When I watched that replay, his knee looked down to me at the one, but at the same time, I don't know. That's one of those calls. Like I couldn't be too mad at the refs for that. Like if you think it's a good call, I understand. If you think it's a bad call, I still understand. It was still a pretty close call. It was still a pretty close situation, but yeah, man. So Tyler Huntley, of course, he took over for Lamar to finish the game. He was 27 for 38, 270 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked 3 times, and he fumbled 2 times, and lost. And both fumbles were fumbles that they lost. They did not recover those fumbles. So it wasn't a bad game for Tyler. Like he obviously had some like really solid moments, but. And I like Tyler, so like again, I have to put this out there. I like Tyler Huntley. This is not me trying to like just like violate him, but it's just really disgusting watching these Ravens fans try to take this opportunity to try to imply that Tyler Huntley is QB1. Tyler Huntley is not QB1. Tyler Huntley is not that guy. He is a backup, dog. He's a solid backup. He looked like he has potential. He might go on to become a starter somewhere else. So like he might have a bright future. I don't wish bad on him. I want him to do well, but at the same time, you can't just sit here and just like overhype some of these people, man. Like I'm seeing some of these idiots do like videos or go into comment sections talking about, oh, Tyler makes better decisions than Lamar. Oh, Tyler gets the ball moving better than Lamar. Dog, no, he does not. No, he does not. Like, and before I get into why I think people do this, because they do this time and time again, but I just want to get into. I just want to point out some statistics to give people an understanding of why there's not a a big difference. People are trying to pretend that like, oh, Tyler Huntley's just like out here on some other level. Look, in the 2 games, because Tyler Huntley, he started in the Bears game, and he basically started in this one because, you know, Lamar left early with the injury. So in his 2 games, he has 529 yards, which is good. He has 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 3 fumbles, and all 3 fumbles were lost. So he has 1 touchdown and 4 turnovers in his 2 appearances, and he's also been sacked 9 times. And yet you have a bunch of these I'm trying not to call people names, but a bunch of just like Lamar haters, just irrational quote unquote fans of the Ravens who are trying to convince themselves that you can just get rid of Lamar and put Tyler Huntley in and get the same result. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you cannot. Yes, Lamar's had a bad couple months. Like, yes, like for the past like month and a half, Lamar has looked bad out there. And I don't know if I said this in the last video, but I have been like really thinking to myself, yo, I think because part of me thinks Lamar might have gotten hurt way back early in the season, either in that Chiefs game when he did the flip, or just somewhere throughout the season because of all the sacks he's taken. But nonetheless, I'm not trying to make excuses. At the end of the day, he himself has admitted that he has played bad the past like month and a half. But at the same time, this is still a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Like, the disrespect here is outrageous. As bad as Patrick Mahomes was playing to start this season, I did not see Chiefs fans even imply, even think about saying, oh yeah, bring the backup and replace Pat. We don't need Pat. And this is why, look, Honey Badger a few weeks ago, you know, he was kind of in hot water with Chiefs fans because he put out a statement. Basically, I think it was on some social media site. He put out a statement or something, a comment or something, saying that Chiefs fans are the most toxic fan base in sports. That is false. Honey Badger is wrong. The Ravens flock is way more toxic than the Chiefs fans by a landslide. Despite how much Patrick was struggling to start the season, I did not see Chiefs fans even get close to suggesting that Patrick should be replaced and they should bring in their backup to take over, and they don't need him. Now if you've seen it, let me know. I just haven't seen it. You know, like the disrespect here is outrageous. I'm seeing some people say, yeah, they need to bring in Tyler. Oh, I'm tired of losing. What do you mean you're tired of losing? Since Lamar Jackson has taken over as a starter, this team has only lost about 11 or 12 times in 3.5 years. And you're talking about you're tired of losing? What? And this is why sometimes I take shots at Joe Flacco, not because I don't respect Joe Flacco, but because you have a lot of dumb Ravens fans who they have this distorted view of Joe Flacco in their head from what reality was. Reality was Joe Flacco was a middle of the pack quarterback who lost a lot of games, who he's most known for really getting hot on one playoff run. Now, obviously, there were other playoff appearances where he looked good. Obviously, there was another one where they made an AFC championship. But I mean, when it really comes down to it, that one Super Bowl run, you know, obviously where they won the Super Bowl, it was very impressive. But when you actually step back and look at his career in totality, he was a middle of the pack quarterback. He's not going into the Hall of Fame. He wasn't some game changing player. He wasn't a player that he was a average at best quarterback his whole career. And I'm just talking about his career in totality. Once you get into his later years with the Ravens, he sucked. I don't care what y'all say. He was not that guy. Yeah, the Ravens missed the playoffs 4 years in a row before they got Lamar. And you want to talk and now y'all have the nerve to say you're tired of losing? Lamar a few weeks ago broke Dan Marino's record for most wins by a quarterback before the age of 25. That's a record that was set several decades ago. And you're saying you're tired of winning? All Lamar has done since he's come into the league, all he has done is win games and break records. That is a fact. That is all he has done. And again, am I saying he's a perfect player? No, but at the same time, you need to respect what he has done. He literally brought a dying team back to life. You cannot argue with me on this, dog. You cannot argue with me on this. The Ravens were a dying team before Lamar came in and shocked this team and hit him with the, I forgot what that tool is called, that the people in the ambulance have, where they want to bring you back to life and they say clear, whatever that device is called. Hit him with that, shocked and brought this team back to life. And half of this fan base, all they have done is just disrespect him, and it is just disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. His rookie year, he struggled in the beginning half of that Chargers game. You guys are chanting for Joe Flacco to come back, and that's exactly, no, excuse me, you guys were booing and chanting for Joe Flacco to come back. That's exactly what y'all were doing. I know y'all want to deny it now and pretend like it was something else. No, y'all were booing Lamar and wishing Joe Flacco would come back in. He knows that's what y'all were doing. Even last year, I seen some of these same fans saying, "Oh man, we got to bring in Trace McSorley." Like they were overhyping Trace McSorley. Where's Trace McSorley right now? He's a backup in I think Arizona or something. No disrespect to him, but he's not that guy. Y'all, their hatred for Lamar is so strong and irrational that they just want any excuse to say, "Oh yeah, let's get rid of him." They want to convince themselves that they could just plug in these backup quarterbacks and get similar results and get these same results or similar results, and that's not the case. Not even for Tyler Huntley. Even though you could say their styles are similar, you're still not getting the same results. At the end of the day, they were, as much as Lamar struggled, guess what? In a lot of games, he still ends up being the key factor to winning that game. Even in the games he's struggling, somehow he will, even in the games, like in that Browns game a couple weeks ago where he threw 4 interceptions, he looked terrible. And still, even in his work, in literally the worst game of his career, professional, college, whatever, like even still, he still ends up having just a miraculous touchdown that was one of the key plays to actually winning the game, obviously. And they have these silly narratives that they're trying to push now, where they're saying, Tyler moves the ball better. No, he doesn't. Look, when you look at the final numbers, let's go into the final numbers first. For that game, Tyler Huntley had 270 yards. Lamar's averaging like 260 on the season. So that's not, people are just out here forgetting that Lamar's already had games this year where he's thrown for 287 yards, 316 yards, 442 yards, which is a franchise record, a record that has been in place since the Ravens' inaugural season back in 1996 by Vinny Testaverde. And you guys are talking about Tyler moves the ball better because of what? Because of what? Like, that doesn't logically even make sense. What are you talking about? I'm seeing people saying he makes better decisions than Lamar. What do you mean? What do you mean he makes better decisions? Look, on 4th and 6 at the end of the game with the game on the line, he threw a 2-yard pass. What do you mean he's a better decision maker? Like, what? Like, what exactly? What are you talking about, man? Like that doesn't even make the slightest bit of sense. No, he's not. He is not moving the ball better than Lamar. Look, the only real difference right now between Tyler and Lamar that I really noticed, that I do want to give Tyler Huntley credit for, because I want to be fair. One thing that Tyler has done that Lamar typically does, but for whatever reason this season I don't really see him doing it that much, is Tyler is getting rid of the ball quicker. And the reason, and the way he's doing that is just he's taking a lot of check down passes. From what I can see, just my opinion, but from what I can see, he seems to be a more conservative version of what Lamar does. Because Lamar is always looking for the big play. Whereas like Tyler, he's much quicker to just check it down. And I do agree that this season, like there have been times where I'm like, Lamar should have checked it down more. He goes for the big play, but part of the reason he goes for the big play is because more often than not he hits the big play. But it's a similar. This is why I compare him to Patrick Mahomes, even though their play style is different. At the end of the day, these are still two superstars. Like Lamar and Patrick are still two superstars who they make big plays that look they make big plays that just look just unfathomable. You can't even wrap your head around how they did it. But the downside is once they hit a slump, just like how Patrick hit a slump early in this year, everything looks terrible. So, but at the same time, them doing that in the first, it's hard to fight them on doing that in the first place, because that's actually what wins the game. Like when you, like on 4th and 6 with the game on the line, Lamar's not throwing a 2-yard pass on 4th and 6 like that. Like it was, not only was it 4th and 6, it was 4th and 6, and they still needed like at least like I think like 15 yards to get into like Justin Tucker's field goal range to win the game. Lamar's not throwing a 2-yard pass. Like come on, man. Like that was not a good decision by Tyler. That was a very safe and conservative decision by Tyler. And also it was a bad play call by Greg Roman. Oh yeah, y'all thought I forgot? Y'all thought I forgot? Man, I still don't like these coaches. Greg Roman is still a bum. Wink Martindale is still a bum. They all can go. I still stand by that statement. And these games just further solidify all the points I kept making about them. Come on, man. 4th and 6, and you're calling a play where Tyler's gonna throw it 2 yards on a slant route or whatever, with the game on the line. What? And then some people try to say that, Tyler Huntley proves that Greg Roman's schemes aren't the problem. No, it doesn't. Tyler Huntley still had the same struggles. Again, the only difference is Tyler would be quicker to check it down at times, or throw it out of bounds. But he didn't get these superior results. You guys saying, he handled the pocket better, he didn't have a problem in the pocket. Yes, he did. He got sacked 3 times. Tyler got sacked 3 times. Lamar got sacked once. This O-line again allowed 4 sacks. They on the season they have about like on the season they have like I think the number now is like 47 or 48 sacks. Like this is the most sacks allowed in the NFL. This O-line is terrible. Don't talk to me about this O-line. They're all terrible. They all should lose their job. This is embarrassing. And they're putting these QBs, Tyler and Lamar, they're putting these QBs' lives at risk every week behind these incompetent, washed-up players. Everybody on that O-line's a liability. It's crazy, man. But still, nonetheless, Tyler got sacked 3 times, and he fumbled twice, and both fumbles were lost. Dude, there was 4 different instances in this game where Tyler lost the game. The fumble that led to the Myles Garrett touchdown, the fumble in the red zone, the pass that could have been a wide open Hollywood touchdown where he overthrew Hollywood by like 10 yards. And then at the end of the game on 4th and 6 where he threw a 2-yard pass. So again, even though I like Tyler, I think Tyler has potential. I don't think he's like awful or anything like that, but at the same time, you know all these people, they're completely overhyping Tyler. And why are they doing that? They're doing that simply because they don't like Lamar. These are irrational Lamar haters. You can't make sense of why they would do this, but they do this over and over again. In Lamar's rookie year, they were trolling him, booing him, begging for Joe Flacco to come back, even though Joe Flacco was the reason we were losing for so many years. But you guys want to forget about that. They were whenever Lamar was playing bad last year, they were cheering and begging for Trace McSorley to come back. And now this year you're doing the same thing for Tyler Huntley. What do you mean, though? You can't logically break down and any of these irrational Lamar haters. You can't rationally break down how Tyler Huntley is better. You simply can't. In Tyler's 2 starts, he has 1 touchdown, 4 turnovers, 1 win, 1 loss. And and his numbers don't look better than Lamar overall. So like, you can't make sense of that. But again, I gotta stress this: I don't hate Tyler, but at the same time, like the disrespect for Lamar, man, I just it's outrageous. It's outrageous. I saw somebody who left a comment on, it was on like Engraven's video, where he was just like, Lamar, like Lamar really shouldn't resign, or he should go to another team because he so disrespected him. And I really agree with. Obviously, I don't want Lamar to go to another team, but I understand what he's saying, and I agree, because I'm like these Ravens fans are some of the most disrespectful, ungrateful people I've ever seen in my life. You literally have a once-in-a-generation talent playing. You literally have a once-in-a-generation quarterback playing for your team, breaking records multiple times a year. Like, every time you turn around, Lamar's breaking a record. He all he's done is win 78-79% of his games, which is uncharted territory. That's the type of territory where only people like Tom Brady are in. But yet, all these fans want to do is act as if he's not good enough. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. Lamar Jackson is the most talented quarterback the Ravens have had ever. That is a fact. In the 25 years of Ravens history, Lamar Jackson is the most talented quarterback. He is the most talented quarterback that they've had. That is a fact. That is a fact. I am no longer arguing with people on that. I did a video a few months ago where I said Lamar has already surpassed Joe Flacco. I was much more willing to conversate with people about that, because I understand how Ravens fans feel about Joe Flacco. But dog, I'm not arguing about this anymore, dog. I'm not arguing about this anymore, dog. Lamar Jackson is the most talented quarterback the Ravens have ever had by a long shot. And if you give Lamar, if you actually put a competent O-line in there, a competent offensive coordinator, and the receivers and tight ends, they're starting to get better and better. But if you just add one more piece at maybe wide receiver, maybe like Devontae Adams in free agency, I doubt they would get that, but I would love for them to. If you provide that for him, and then also give him 11 seasons to play, like y'all gave Joe Flacco 11 seasons, dog, every record Joe Flacco has is getting destroyed. It's getting absolutely destroyed. Yeah, but so I didn't expect to go on that long of a rant about that, but yeah, man, again, just because you want to there's a difference between critiquing somebody and just clearly showing that you are a hater towards somebody. Like, if you want to critique certain aspects of where Lamar messes up, because again, like I said, I'm not some fanboy who can't see Lamar's flaw, like who can't see when Lamar is playing bad or is making mistakes here and there. I could see that. I could call that out. But at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and try to downplay just how elite he is as a quarterback. Like these people are crazy, absolutely crazy. And I'm gonna get into what I think they should do about Lamar, or what Lamar should do heading into that Green Bay game in a second. But thank you if you're still listening in the first place, thank you. But as far as the rest of this Browns game, the defense actually was, they were okay. Like, and the reason I say they were okay really is because they allowed 0 points in the second half. I don't know if you want to say that they allowed 0 points or the Browns just they just went cold. Either way, 0 points in the second half, that's still a good look. But again, 0 sacks. And again, we got lucky because we played a struggling Browns team. So again, in that aspect, we got lucky. But again, for a lot of the games coming up, if you can't actually get sacks, if you can't actually execute these plays, dog, like these offenses are gonna tear you up, man. You gotta play you got to play the Packers, and then you got to play the Bengals again. You got to play the Rams, and then you got to go play the Steelers to end the season. And y'all can't sack anybody. This team as a whole still only has 26 sacks. This entire defense, 26 sacks. Matthew Judon and Yannick Ngakoue, who are just two players that we let go this offseason. Right now on their respective teams, they have 21 sacks combined. Matt Judon has 12.5, and Yannick Ngakoue has 9. So that just further validates what people like me were saying, where it's like these players aren't the problem. Wink Martindale's the problem. Wink Martindale sucks. Flat out, Wink Martindale sucks, man. He sucks. Because once we have the talent at defense. Like, whenever I say the defense sucks, I don't actually mean like they suck. What I mean is, really what I'm saying is Wink Martindale sucks. Like, you have the talent necessary to play better. But guess what? Wink Martindale's not good at his job. And it's proven when you see these players leave this system, go into a different system that actually allows them to showcase what they're fully capable of, and they ball out, man. Matthew Judon is now proving he's one of the best edge rushers in the league. You had him and you let him go. Yannick Ngakoue is proving that he should be in a top 10, top 15, or whatever conversation as far as edge rushers in the league, and you let him go. Zadarius Smith, even though he hasn't played this year because he was hurt, still in the 2 seasons since he left, he's had like 26 sacks in these 2 seasons. Like, the players are there, and that's why I say, look, man, if you're not even EDC, if you're Steve Bisciotti, the owner, you gotta make an executive decision and get rid of these coaches, man. Because even though you've already let go so many good edge rushers, like, imagine if we had a defensive line right now where it was Matt Judon, Yannick Ngakoue, Zadarius Smith, and then also a couple of these young guys like Odafe Oweh, Tyus Bowser, and others. Imagine what that D-line would look like right now with a competent defensive coordinator, man. We would be a complete nightmare, but it is what it is, man. It just is what it is, man. Like, and I really do believe we still have the talent, but Wink Martindale's just not good, man. Like, I'll say this, man. When you look at players like Odafe Oweh, even though he's, we haven't seen much of him really the whole second half of the season. Like, look, you get a competent defensive coordinator in there. Players like Odafe Oweh, Tyus Bowser, I think Calais Campbell still got a lot more left in the tank than his numbers show, because I think on the season he only has like 2 sacks, but I think he's still at a level where he has enough in the tank to still have like 5, 6, maybe 7 sacks in the season. I think Justin Madubuike could be more productive. Like, there's so many players on this team who I think would look like legit Pro Bowlers if you had anybody else making plays, man. But on another note, as far as John Harbaugh's decision to make it like a 2-point conversion towards the end of that Cleveland game, I don't have an opinion on that. I don't know. Some people are saying that they think it's terrible. Some people are saying it's the right thing to do. I'm on the fence. Stuff like that, it's so hard to say. It's just like in the Steelers game. It's so hard to say when it comes to that type of stuff, as far as when to go for a 2 or when not to. But would I have gone for the 2? Yeah, I probably would have, because if you really watch how the game played out, the game was still in their hands, but some things went wrong. But yeah, man. So I don't think the Browns should be ashamed of how they won either. I'm seeing some Ravens fans trying to clown the Browns and say that the Browns should be embarrassed. I don't think they should, because several of the wins we've had this year have looked just as bad as that game, and we weren't embarrassed. So why should they be? It's like, hey, look, a win is a win. They got it. It is what it is. Baker Mayfield didn't look that. When you look at his game overall, it wasn't like a terrible game. I mean, yeah, they had a terrible second half, but their first half was so solid to where it didn't even matter, man. So I don't think they should be ashamed. As far as the Green Bay game, man, I don't know, man. I don't know what's about to happen, man. all I'm thinking about is, man, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are about to dominate this defense, man. This defense had every game this season except for the Chargers game. They've given up monster plays over and over and over again. And they've even given it up to players who aren't like household name type of players. Like, so it's like when you imagine, like, all right, if you're giving up big plays to them, what are you about to do when you got to play Devontae Adams, man? That's like, I don't care what anybody says. That's a top 3 wide receiver. I don't know, man. As far as Lamar's health right now, I think they should rest him. I think they should rest him. Trying to bring him right back out here, to me, if they do that, that to me lets me know, and it should let Lamar know, they don't care about his health. They don't care about his health, and they're not trying to value and protect him for the long term. Like, because, like, even if it's not a serious ankle sprain, there's no need to rush him back out there, man. Like, let him get some time to actually rest. This dude has been carrying, contrary to, see, Ravens fans, we already know this, but a lot of fans outside of who aren't Ravens fans, who don't pay attention or realize this, but Lamar has had to carry a subpar team for the past 3.5 years. Yeah, this would be a good time for him to just like get some rest. The team as a whole is already struggling. He's already struggling for the first time. Yeah, you should actually just let him just like actually take a game or two to rest. I hope they don't rush him out there. I really don't want to see that. Now, can Tyler Huntley hold his own against Green Bay? I doubt it. I really doubt it, but hey, I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but I really doubt it. But if it came down to a shootout, if a game like that, because the Packers defense did give up like 30 points to the Bears a few days ago, but still, if a game like that came down to a shootout, which I highly doubt it's gonna come to that, I think the Packers, like, if Tyler Huntley starts the game, I think the Packers are gonna win. Like, I think they're gonna win handily, but I mean, we'll see, man. But let me know what your thoughts are on everything in the comments below. If you stay to listen to the whole video, thank you. I appreciate you, and I'll be back soon.